Hey, so you have a new Azure project. Congratulations. I am Jose Moreno, and between Adam, Stuart, and myself, we have helped literally hundreds of customers in a similar situation. One of the first tasks you will be confronted with is probably going to be designing your Azure network. And one of the challenges that you will encounter is that there are so many options out there. You might be a cloud architect, familiar with cloud concepts, but not necessarily into all of these networking details. Or you might be an administrator with ample experience on on-premises networking with vendors such as Cisco, Juniper, and you're looking about extending your expertise to the cloud. We have you covered. Adam and myself are going to explain all of the options available for the designs, trade-offs, advantages, disadvantages in a language that is easy to understand for both architects as well as administrators with on-prem experience.
Now that you have a flavor for why the book exists, maybe we can give a sneak preview of what's actually in the contents of the book to help you decide if it's going to be useful to you. Firstly, it's split into 11 chapters, as you can see here in the overlay. And the first chapter is exploring in more detail why the book was written and some of the history of networking and why it led to cloud networking. Then we dig into some of the baseline fundamentals of how Azure works, like virtual networks and NSGs, etc., etc. The third chapter, requirements, is taking a broader non-technical look, more through an architecture lens of all of the different areas where you should, as a network architect, be looking before deploying your Azure networking designs. The topology chapter looks at some of the building blocks of Azure, such as hub and spoke, networks, Azure Virtual WAN, etc. Then we expand those baseline topologies to include on-premises connectivity in the form of things like ExpressRoute and VPN, which then leads into the chapter on SD-WAN, which of course is working with third-party vendor integrations. SD-WAN ties nicely into Multicloud, how to connect your Azure network to other public cloud environments such as AWS and GCP. And then we change direction and pick up, of course, into network security, which is always a hot topic, covering things like Azure Firewall and other patterns in that area. After this, we have a combined chapter on platform as a service networking, things like private links, service endpoints, etc., etc. And that's paired with DNS, both public DNS and private DNS, because of the intrinsic link between DNS resolution and technologies for PaaS networking, such as private link. And then towards the end of the book, we have a chapter on application delivery. This is all about getting your users' eyeballs into applications you're hosting in Azure via things like reverse proxies, application gateways, using content delivery networks and Azure Front Door. And then the book is rounded off with a chapter which we must not forget, which is management, monitoring, getting visibility into your traffic, troubleshooting any designs that you may have chosen to implement. So hopefully you found this short video interesting and useful, and now you have an idea of why the book might be useful to you. If you do decide to read it, please let us know your feedback.